Hi, I want to take a minute and talk to you all about formatting and professional documents. I'm going to call up a piece of writing here, which is a sample workplace writing policy. I'm going to just blow ahead and make this font a little bit bigger so it's more visible on y'all's computer screen as well. But if you look at this document, I won't read through the whole thing. But the Joe Bob Agency recognizes that employees will need days off from work from time to time to address their medical needs. Employees accrue sick leave as follows, and a list of the ways that goes. If you look at the document itself, it's pretty well written. It lets you know what it is, it lets you know what the purpose is, and the content is fine. But the modern reader, at least in workplace writing, is put off by big chunks of text. Now, for those of you who've done a lot of academic writing, this is an area in which academic writing differs from professional or workplace writing because we're really not bothered much by long texts in academia. We're used to long paragraphs, complex ideas. But in workplace writing, in the nonprofit world and other workplaces, the emphasis is on clarity and ease of understanding. And quite frankly, if you have something like this, people aren't going to look at it. So we've already talked about how in memos you front load, you make sure the key information is in the first couple of sentences because in emails, people don't read often more than the first line. But sometimes you can't do that. So let's just talk about some ways in which formatting can make communication more clear. First thing would be a title. So this is a sick leave policy. So let's call it a sick leave policy. So the Joe Bob Agency recognizes that employees will need days off from work from time to time to address their medical needs. Okay, and then the next several sentences are about how sick leave is accrued or how it is earned. So you could call this accrual, or if you wanted to be a little bit more personal or a little bit less big wordy, you could say how sick leave is earned. I'll leave it as accrual for time. So employees accrue sick leave as follows. What I'm going to do is make each of these a bulleted list. All regular employees accrue sick leave from the date of hire for a total of 10 days per year. Regular part-time employees accrue sick leave from the date of hire in a prorated amount using the full-time total of 10 days per year, average number of hours to be part-time employees work. You get a maximum of 120 hours. Sick leave may be used in accordance with the following procedures. So that's accrual. Actually, so all of this is, I'm sorry, I need to get rid of. So that's the end of this one bulleted list. All right. So then the next section would be using sick leave. So, sick leave may be used in accordance with the following provisions. Maybe another bulleted list. That may not be used prior to accrual. If sick leave is exhausted, annual leave may be used, takes place. May be used for an employee's personal illness, well care and medical dental appointments. May be used for illness, for family members. If the employee is on leave under the FEMLA, paid sick leave must be used initially as part of the FEMLA leave. Whereas sick leave in excess of 3 consecutive work days must present medical documentation, notify the supervisor, and employees are not paid upon termination of employment. See, and if you go on and go through this and look, suddenly it's a lot easier to follow because we've given the reader clues. What is it? It's a sick leave policy. There are two parts to it. There's accruing sick leave and then using sick leave. And this is actually a policy, a real policy I pulled. And if I were writing this policy, I would go on and talk a little bit more. I would probably have another category called procedures to request sick leave or something like that, and then lay out the process how by an employee would take sick leave. Employees wishing to take sick leave. And I won't go through the writing of all that part as well. But I think I've made my point that a policy that has good content but isn't formatted in such a way that you can read and follow what's going on isn't going to be as useful as it should be. Thanks so much for your time. I hope you have a great writing week, and I look forward to seeing your work on the computer. Thanks.